You're a business coach, and you're ready to go to the next level. What if we told you someone could give you useful and practical information to do that, who sold several multi-million-dollar businesses, had a company that was named Los Angeles Business of the Year, featured on NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox Primetime News, as well as the LA Times, Daily News, and NPR Radio? That person just happens to have a podcast. Welcome to the Business Coach's Corner with Becs Gold. Here to help business coaches take their businesses to the next level and beyond their wildest dreams. Solid, practical, and useful information on how to get clients off the charts results. Learn how to gain personal and financial freedom for the coach and your clients, and to be the best business coach you can be. Let's do this. This is the Business Coach's Corner, and this is your host, Becs Gold.
Hey friends, welcome back to the Business Coach's Corner. This is Becs Gold, and I'm really glad you're here today, and I totally mean that, because this episode is one of those line in the sand conversations, the kind where if you actually hear what I'm saying, not just listen, but hear it, you're going to stop building a coaching business that drains you and start building one that actually gives you the freedom you thought coaching was supposed to create in the first place. And yes, we are going to talk about money. Surprise. But not in a weird, awkward, salesy way. Greasy sales with it. We're going to talk about how to decide your coaching fees before you ever sign a client, why that decision changes everything, and how this one shift separates burned out coaches from coaches who have time, space, energy, and income to actually live their lives. Because let me say this, clearly right out of the gate, a coaching business that doesn't support your life is not success. It's just another job with worse hours. And I don't want that for you, sincerely. This episode is for coaches who are already certified but undercharging coaches who are fully booked and secretly exhausted. Coaches who are thinking about becoming a coach but don't want to build a mess. And coaches who love what they do but feel trapped by it. If you've ever said, I'll raise my prices once I get more confident, I just want to help people, I feel bad charging that much, eye roller, I didn't get into coaching for the money, good. You are exactly who I want to be listening to this episode. And before we go any further, let me say this with absolute love. Wanting freedom doesn't make you greedy. It makes you honest. I want to take you back for a minute. There was a point in my coaching journey, and maybe you have been here too, might sound familiar, huh? Where on paper, things looked great. Client, check. Results, check. Reputation, check. But behind the scenes, I was tired. I was booked. I was constantly on. We all know what that's like. And I remember thinking, how is it possible that I'm helping everyone else design a better life and I don't feel like I have one? What up with that, babe? That was my wake up moment. Not because I didn't love coaching. I do. But because I hadn't built a business. I had built a service job with good intentions. And that's when I learned one of the most important lessons that I have ever learned, and what this entire episode is about. Your pricing model determines your freedom long before your calendar fills up. So price before you promised. Most coaches do pricing backwards. They meet a client, they hear their story, they feel empathy, they decide how much work it will take, then guess a price. That's emotional pricing, babe. We don't want to do that. And emotional pricing leads to what? Emotional burn out. Instead, real coaches, sustainable coaches, do this. They decide their fees before they ever sit in a discovery call, not based on how much the client can afford, how nice the client seems. I know y'all done that one. How much you like them, how badly they want help, but based on the outcome you deliver, the structure that you have built, the life that you want to live. Yes, that's important. I'm going to say that again because this matters. Your pricing is not about the client. It's about the business you're building. And listen, if your pricing strategy is currently, I'll just see what happens on the call, that's not a strategy. Nope. That's hope. Wearing a headset. Build the life first, then the business. This is where I see almost everyone gets it wrong. They build the coaching business first and hope, crossing their fingers, that freedom shows up later. It doesn't work like that. Freedom doesn't magically appear when you hit a revenue number. Freedom is by design. So here's a question I want you to answer honestly. Maybe not out loud, but really think about it. How many hours a week do you want to work? How many hours a week do you want to work? How many clients do you want to serve at one time? How much money do you want to make annually? Pause, write these down and come back. How much time off do you want? What does your ideal week actually look like? Not someday, not when I'm successful. Now, babe, pause. Go down, write out those questions, and answer them. Because once you answer those questions, pricing becomes math, not emotion. All right, pause, come back. Welcome back. You better be coming back. Example, if you want $250,000 a year, working 48 weeks with 10 to 15 active clients, your price is already decided. You just have to do the math. Simple. You don't negotiate your way into that life. You architect it. Get that? You design it. Coaching fees are a filter, not a favor. Here's something most coaches don't want to hear but need to. Lower prices do not create better clients. They create more emotional labor, less commitment, more boundary issues, slower results. High quality clients don't buy cheap coaching. They buy clarity, confidence, structure, leadership. And when your pricing reflects certainty, it attracts clients who are ready to work. Pricing isn't about worth. It is about alignment, babe. I used to think charging more meant I had to prove more. What I learned instead, charging more meant that I could be more present, do deeper work, set better boundaries, deliver better results. Deliver better results. That's the most important one. Because when you're not stressed about money, you coach differently. You listen differently. You lead differently. You show up differently. Also, side note, if you're charging hourly and resenting every extra email, that's not coaching. That is customer service with feelings. You're not selling sessions. You are selling transformation. I'm going to say that again. You're selling transformation. This is where coaches level up. Clients don't want 12 sessions, 6 months of calls, unlimited Voxer access. They want a result, a shift, more net profit, a solution to something that's costing them time, money, or peace. When your price is based on outcomes, not hours, everything changes. You stop saying, I charge X per session, and start saying, I help clients achieve this result. And this is the investment. Yes, it's an investment for your clients. That's confidence. That's leadership. That's a business, not a hustle. If you're listening to this and thinking about becoming a coach, I want you to hear this early, before you make the mistakes that most people make. Do not wait until you're overwhelmed to think about pricing. Do not copy someone else's model blindly. Do not assume you need to start low. Start intentional. Decide the business you want, then build toward it. I want to leave you with this. Coaching is one of the most powerful professions there is. You get to change lives. You get to create impact, build income, design your time, live on your terms. And your clients will learn the same. But only if you build it like a business, not a charity. Freedom is not selfish. Freedom is the point. And when you price your coaching before you promise it, when you build structure before emotion, you give yourself permission to succeed without sacrificing yourself in the process. That's the kind of coaching business I want for you, and I hope you want that for yourself as well. Until next time, signing off. See you soon.
You've been listening to the Business Coaches Corner. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from the show, and we hope you had fun along the way too. For questions or comments, send an email to becs@thegoldstandardcoach.com or visit the website at thegoldstandardcoach.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at The Gold Standard Coach. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.